Good morning and welcome to Pretty Gets Gritty's Facebook Live this morning. Let me just share this out if I can. Morning Janet. Morning Helen. Kirsty, sorry. How is everyone this morning? It is rather a horrible, dreary day here up in Lancashire. Morning Sarah, Karen. It's quite awful, to be honest. It's blowing a bit of a gale. It's that really horrible fine rain that really soaks you through. So I'll just wait for a few more to join and then we shall get on our way. As you can see on the desk, I have, morning Lena, morning Pearl, I have a few projects that I've made with the Papercraft Society box, which is the January edition, which you can get through CraftStash. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute, but let's have a little peek through the box. Some of you may have seen the Lovely Lou's unboxing on YouTube. For those of you that haven't, let's have a little look in the box. So you get this gorgeous box, and you can see it says, don't think outside the box, think what you can make with the box. So when you've finished with your box, cut the pieces off, use it as a frame, build up some mixed media compositions inside it. And we have a little card, and on the back is some top tips to mark making. Now if you haven't heard of mark making, it is one of the simplest forms that you can do of crafting, in journaling, adding it onto cards, whatever. And it basically is just getting something, dipping it in paint or ink and making your mark. It could be the rim of a small tub, it could be the prongs of a fork, it could be anything. So hi CJ, morning Lou. So we'll have a quick look inside the box and then we will get on. So if anyone has these boxes, you know they come with these gorgeous folders where everything folds out and it's all tucked there, and we get stamps. So there's two sets of stamps. I have actually got them all stamped out so I can let you have a look. You get a set of dies. You get stencil. Love that stencil. It's just so usable. And then you get a set of coordinating cardstock. So these are lovely soft blues, darker blues, royal blues, a nice hint of yellow in there. And then you get these gorgeous mathematically and geometrically inspired cardstock, and I absolutely love them. And you can see the colours. I think that one is my favourite. The colours are all varied. You can stamp onto these, you can add ink, you can scruff them up, you can do whatever you want with them. So those are the papers. Let's close this up and I will show you exactly how the stamps stamp out. So I have this card here where I've just stamped it all out. Excuse the ink splodges, it is me that is stamping, and I am very rarely neat and tidy and without splodges. Sorry. So you get this gorgeous light bulb, the geometric hexagons, this lovely, like, it's like a crystal pentagram star. It's just amazing. Your infinity sign, lots and lots of sentiments. I adore putting sentiments on anything I can do. And then you get this gorgeous butterfly. Again, you get the small geometric patterns, splatters, triangles, and even more sentiments and cogs. So those are the stamps that are in there. But not only that, you get some grey board pieces to work with. So you get a couple of tags and a couple of coasters, and then you get your brush, your brayer, some gesso and some acrylic paint, which you can do loads with. Don't forget you can, you know, really let down the colour of that acrylic paint. And you get some tissue paper as well. So I'm just going to pop this out of the way, because I don't want to use that one. I'm going to use my messy one, which I've already broken into. And we'll have a look at a couple of projects. So this is the journal cover that I made, that you will see the step-by-steps in your booklet. I did this journal page as well, and I did a double spread one. So there is loads of things that you can do. I also made a coaster and a tag. There's so many different techniques that you can use this box for. And then I went ultra mixed media and I created this little light bulb. So you can see that I've used the wings up here, but I've also stamped and used shrink plastic for some of the elements, and they make gorgeous, gorgeous embellishments. Loads of glitter on there and sprays and a few flowers out of my stash, and it's a really, really stunning piece. Right, let's pop all that out of the way and have a look at what we're doing. I have pre-gessoed a page. Nope, it's not in that one. Is it not? What have I done with... I know where it is. I put it on the floor behind me in front of the fire to dry off the page. Right, so I have just gessoed this page in my journal. I'll move those butterfly die cuts out of the way. Let's hope that everybody can see. Is that a good view? I haven't actually checked with you all this morning whether the connection is fine and you can hear me okay and that the view is good. So I'll just have a little drink of my green tea before we get on. Right, so I've got my messy box out. I'm going to open it up, and what we are going to start with is a little bit of stamping and masking. So if anyone's not masked before, you can get these sheets that you stamp onto, and then they are sticky, and you peel them off and place them over whatever it is you want to protect on your page, and then you can add things that look like you've stamped behind. So that is what we're going to start off with this morning. So I'm going to take my geometric stamp and I'm going to use some archival ink. So I'm just going to ink this up. And my pad is a little bit dry, so I need to be getting an order into CraftStash, I think, and getting a new pad. So I'm just going to place this centrally on the page, give it a good press down, just lift to make sure I've got a good contact, and you just know I am going to get inky fingerprints all over this, and lift it off, and you can see it's not quite gone there in the middle, but that is fine, because you can always take a fine liner in afterwards, because I'm going to add sprays over the top of this with mica, so it does dull down the image ever so slightly. So I will probably go in afterwards with my fine liner and just bring those back out. So I'm hoping that's hi Tom, you've been frantically looking. We've not started too much. I've just stamped a page and that is pretty much it. Now, just to safeguard, I am going to untangle this and just make sure that it is completely dry, because I don't want to smudge it. Hi Nusrat. Right, so I'm just going to place this over to protect that image, and we will do some stamping over so it looks like I've not got that perfectly. I'm just trying to be mindful of not popping my head right over to block the view. So I'll just get that stuck down, and now when we stamp, whatever we stamp will look like we are behind it. So let's pop that stamp down, and we will go for these lovely big hexagons. Sorry, my wire has just popped down. Let me just get this back up out of the way, and hopefully that is not disturbing the view. I'll have a look up again in a minute when Facebook catches up to just make sure that that is not in the way. So I'm going to start off with these ones, and I'm just going to sort of decide, I think I might go that way. So make sure my journal page is down and out of the way. So when we lift this off, everything will come clear. You'll be able to see it. It's going to look like a hot mess to begin with. And we want to add some balance. So we will do the same up here, but I think I'm going to go straighter. Good morning everyone who's joining. There we go. Right, I think I might do a little bit of second generation stamping. And just add a little bit more here. So I'm not going to re-ink. I'm just going to create a slight impression. So it's a little bit lighter. It's just giving the hint of some more interlocking hexagons. And then I'm going to take the smaller ones and add on the side just to make this a little bit longer. I'm going to try and connect it onto there, and then the same on the top as well, and then we'll add a little bit more interest into these areas. So let's have that one and slightly over that way. There we go. So we haven't done anything too difficult, and there is nothing difficult about journaling. It is just expressing how you're feeling that day, what you want to play with. It really is a very, very simple way to play. So I just need to stretch over and grab my other stamp block without trying to knock you all too much. Right, so we have these lovely ink splats. So I'm going to use those to try and connect all these, add a little bit of interest. So let's get that one there. We'll have one coming up there, and then we'll use the small one as well. So let's get this one splashing down that way. And we'll have that one up there, and then I'm going to add some of these like triangle and spot splodges. So let's just add some there and some there, so it looks like it's sort of exploding away from our focal point. Honestly, these stamps are just so usable. They've got brilliant worker stamps, and this is exactly what these are. Your little elements of surprise. So let's add on some of the triangles. Let's get those down there, and let's bring these ones over here. So I'm just going to turn my journal. And add 3 more here. Right, I think that I am pretty happy with the stamping that I've laid down. So just while that is drying, I will just tell you a little bit, let's just take this off, a little bit about the Papercraft Society boxes. So the box that I'm using today is part of a subscription to the Papercraft Society monthly boxes, and each box contains over £60 of products for as little as £18.74 a month if you sign up for a year. So they also have a quarterly and a monthly subscription, and the delivery in the UK is free, and you've got the option to cancel at any time. So if you want this box, if you subscribe before the 20th of December, the first box you will receive is this one in January, the box that I'm working with today. If your subscription is placed after that, you will start with the following box, which will be February's. So I hope lots of you like this box and want to get this one in January. It's a great way to start your mixed media journey if you haven't already. And then the stamps and the dies are great just to add in and extend your stash. Let's say £18.74 a month is a ridiculous price for that amount of product. Right, I am just going to touch a few places and see if we are dry. Almost. Let's just give it a quick blast. Yeah, I do too, Lou. The boxes are amazing. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to start laying down some colour onto our page. And what I'm going to use is some of the Pretty Amazing sprays. I've got Transparent Twilight and I've got Deep Ocean. And they're called Pretty Amazing because they have a different colour mica. So they've got mica in, but you can see the ink colour. This is a dark turquoisey blue. But when it dries, the mica is a lovely bronze. And then the Transparent Twilight, we've got this gorgeous blue shimmer going on with a greyish base. So I'm just going to get the mica dispersed. So just give them a roll, make sure the lid is on or you end up with it everywhere. Hi Teresa, hi Linda. So just making sure that all that mica is now left the bottom. And I am not going to spray them. I'm going to use them as a watercolour paint. So I'm just going to grab a couple of brushes and my water spray. So what I'm going to do first is just lay down some plain water into these areas, just so we get the flow of the sprays. So just get that down in it. I want to try and keep it contained in the areas that I've stamped. If it seeps out, so be it, but I want to try at least. So I'm just going to bring my brush around. There really is no technique to this at all. I'm just pulling it around with my brush, and wherever it sort of sits, that's where it sits. I'm not trying to make it even. I want a very organic sort of look. So I'm just going to add some more water over here, and you can see where I'm adding the water, it's already pulling the colour away from the image that I've done, and it's bringing it down here. So I'll just add my water and then go back on with my spray. So this is my base colour. So let's just pull this around and we'll get a lovely wash. Now you can also pick your page up and just let it tip where it wants to go. Get ahead of myself, and then we'll add some more water down here. You can see the water is pulling the spray. It's following my brush. So I'm just adding the water just to give it a really easy way to spread around the page without too much effort at all. So I'm just going to lift the page because I don't want it to run off too much. So again, just very slightly. I just picked up the wrong colour. Very slightly, and then I'm just going to go in and dab and make some darker areas with the transparent twilight, just so it's not completely perfect. Why did I pick two blues to work with? So let's just add a little bit more depth here and there, and I'm just going to dry off this before I go on with my second colour. So when you're drying a project that you've watercoloured or added ink to, it's a good idea to try and dry from the back as well, which is super easy with a journal page because then you just lift it. So hopefully we're going to get some really nice variations of colour. So it'll be darker in areas and lighter in others as this dries, and that's exactly how I want it to be. I don't want it to be uniform. So as soon as this bit is dry here, hi Moira, hi Danilla. So it's taking a little bit longer than I want to dry, but it's worth being patient. So I'm just going to try and get some heat going underneath. Right, I can lift it a little bit better now. And I'm really hoping that when this dries we get a lovely splodge of colour. So I'm trying to direct my heat tool to take it back up. And it's taking forever to dry. So I'm going to have to go in and dab off. But if you're at home and doing this technique, you can leave it for as long as you need to. Right, now I'm going to go in with darker colour, and I'm not going to add any more water to this at all because I really do want the darker colours to pool. But I love, can you see this streak here? I love that piece. To me, that is exactly how I wanted it. So I'm just going to start adding in areas a little bit of darker colour. If it is too dark, I may go in with my paintbrush and just pull it out. So but I am just adding a little bit of the deep ocean here and there. Hi Carol. That's alright. Can be excused for being busy watching. It's exactly what we want. So I'm just going to pick areas. I'm hoping you can see this properly. And I don't want to add too much here because I do love that. You can also press your brush down just to add a few random parts of colour. Just experiment with your brushes. Experiment with your sprays. I'm just going to press that a little bit because it was a little bit too perfect. And same with that one. I just cannot get on with things that are too perfect. So I'm just going in and just dabbing the areas that I think are just too nice, too uniform. Just trying to pull them out a little bit. So I'm going to add, you see we have got a little bit of seepage here and there, but I quite like it. I'm going to add some in this area now. Yeah, I love the blues as well. Blue, I am a very blue sort of person. So let's just bring that around. I'm going to take the rest of the colour off my brush and try and just dab in it very, very slightly. Get some shade on this side and just fade it out. And I will do the same with the other side. Although I do quite like that white patch there, so maybe I'm just going to darken. I'm just going to darken this edge here and just leave some splodgy bits around. I'm just having a look, see if there's anywhere else. I think this is looking a little bit too pale, so I need to add a little bit more colour here and there. It's nice to have some white space, which is what we have here for now. Like this bit, so we go from the dark into the light, and I really love it. And I might just darken our star a little bit. Again, not too perfect. And a little bit here. You can spend as long a time as you want adding colour onto a project. It's knowing when. Morning, Steve. Oh, no, you're not going to see purple. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry at all. It's blue day. So I'm just going to dry this off before we move on. So I'll lift this up in a minute. I just need to get that star completely dry. What's in the box? If you go back, Geraldine, to the beginning, when this, obviously when this live is over, I do actually go through everything that's in the box, so you can see what you are getting, and it is great to start your mixed media journey. So I'm hoping that is dry enough. Now we're going to mess it up even more. Let's add some splatters. What shall I splatter? Well, first off, let's spatter some of the sprays that we'll be using. So I'm just going to take them on my brush, and we will just add a little bit more. I said the white space wasn't going to hang around too long, didn't I? So, and try and spatter from different directions and get, you know, bigger splodges, lesser splodges. Let's go on with the gorgeous teal colour now. Try and get some right down the centre as well. So I'll just lift this up a minute. I probably will add some white and black splatters onto it, but for just for now, I'm just going to leave the blue splatters. So what shall we do next? I think I want to wait for this to dry before I add any more colour onto that. So let's pop this out of the way, and I shall bring in the butterflies. Right guys, you can have a choice before I stamp up the butterfly. I just want one butterfly. You can have the choice of which butterfly you want me to use. So we've got the one with the gorgeous pale cog paper, we've got the numbers, and we've got the scientific calculations. So if you want to choose which one. Oh, thanks Geraldine. And I will find my stamp and get that ready to stamp up, and then we will add a few bits. Let's see if I can remember where I've put the stamps. There they are. Does anyone else lose everything when they're crafting? Right guys, first person to numbers. There we go. Sorry Tom, you weren't quick enough. Let's go for the numbers. So I'm just going to stamp this up. I've already die cut it with the die that's in the pack. I don't think you wanted to see me die cutting, and I actually laid all the papers together and cut them all at once. So it just goes to show that they are really good quality. So excuse my head while I just sight this in the right place. So make sure we get it all pressed down and hope that it shows up, because there are, yeah, next time Tom, there we go. You might not be able to see that very well, but it is extremely detailed. So if I lift it up, you might be able to see. I hope you can get that. So it is very, very detailed. Right, what I want to do now is, do I want to add colour to it? Let's bring the journal in and have a look. Do I want to? Yeah, it needs something. It needs a little bit of grunginess. Yeah, let's add some colour to it. Not too much. What are you going to use, Lynette? I think I might use some explosion powder. So these explosion powders do loads of different things. So I'm just going to get a water brush. So you can watercolour with them, which is what I'm going to do here. So I'm just wetting the colour. If you haven't seen them before, I will show you a couple more and how you can use them. So I'm just going to wash this out, just take it right. Again, I'm not bothered about staying in the lines here. I'm just going to give it a quick wash all over, and then we will add a little bit more definition. So just bring it right out, and when this dries you get a beautiful metallic sheen. Hi Andrea, hi Karen. So I'm just going to darken these little bits here and just pull it out a little. Just to add some shade on the wings. I think that is enough. So while that is drying, I will just show you what else you can do with an explosion powder. Right, Lynette, find some paper. There we are. So the explosion powders are super cool. So you can get these from CraftStash. Let's see. Have we got one that's a real wow? Let's have a look. So we've got Mermaid here. So I'm just going to sprinkle them down. They're great for backgrounds. Let's find my lid for my spray. Yeah, they're amazing for backgrounds and they give a gorgeous variegated effect. So you can see as I've added the water, they've exploded into colour. So that one was Mermaid and it dries with a gorgeous sheen, and I'll just show you my other favourite one, which I am going to use in a minute. So this is Zeus. So it's a black powder, but let's get some spray in there and I'll lift it up. You can see it's an absolute true black because when you spritz it, it breaks into all these different colours. So we've got yellow, green, turquoise and pink in there, and that gives an absolutely amazing effect. It's gorgeous. So I'll just pop those out of the way. You've seen how they work, and I will show you a few more. So these are all the different colours and you can do so much with them. So I'll just quickly go through it. So those are sprinkled and spritzed on white, sprinkled and spritzed on black. Now this is added into a gel medium. So I use my gel medium mainly for gluing things together, but you can create a gorgeous glossy varnish. So that's it watercoloured as we've just used it, and watercoloured on black. And then if you mix it in with your texture paste or your gessos, if you mix it with gesso you get chalk paint, and if you mix it with your texture paste you get coloured texture paste. Sorry, I'm losing my voice now. So these are all the different colours that they come in. They are gorgeous. So I'll pop those out of the way and have a little drink of my brew before we go on with this butterfly. So I think I'm going to just, am I going to edge it? Yeah. I'm just putting a little bit of Zeus out there, because the other thing that I love to do with the Zeus is use it as a black watercolour. So I'm just going to very, very quickly edge my butterfly just to give it some depth, and then I'll probably use it to edge some of the elements on my page just to give it some shadow and some depth. So again, I'm not being perfect, I'm not taking my time. Mixed media and journaling can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. It's all about what you want to do. There's no set rules apart from use gel medium. Always use gel medium to stick everything with. That is my only rule that I go to, because if you use hot glue, it invariably starts to peel away from whatever you have spent hours creating a little bit further down the line. So I've just edged my butterfly there, and I'm going to bring the journal back in and we will just darken a few of these areas as well. So I'm just using the Zeus, and I'm just going to darken these edges, but once I darken them I'm just going to splat with my finger and pull it out a little bit. So you see I'm just breaking up that line, so it's not a hard line, it looks like there's something going on behind and it's lifting it forward. if you have any questions, guys, please put them in the comments, and I will go back in afterwards and try and answer you all. So let's just break that up before it dries too much. Get a little bit here. And then I think I will just add a little bit here and there, just to add a little bit more depth. So I can see where this has come in, and I'm just going to add a little bit of a shadow here and there, just to make this just stand out a little bit. I'm just going to add a bit more there. And again, this is something that you can take as much time doing. You could do the whole page, but we haven't got time for that today, so I'm just going to add a little bit here and there. As you can see here, you get this really lovely, soft, smoky black colour that's not too harsh at all. I know a lot of people have put off using black for edging their designs, but this is really a lovely one to use. And of course, when it dries with that sparkle, which softens it even more. So you could use a tissue. I'm just trying to have a look to see if there's anything else I want to do. I'm just pulling some of the colour out with my finger. And just add a little bit more shading there, just to really accentuate what's going on behind, just to really darken those edges there. Right, so we have, what did I do with the butterfly? It's now we're going to play Hunt the Butterfly. So now, can you see this is dried, and we've got the gorgeous metallic sparkle on there. It's now time to decide where everything's going to go, and obviously this is not going to be complete without a sentiment. So I need to think about a sentiment, I need to think about where this is going. I also need to think about, do I want to edge this page? Do I want to add anything else? And I think maybe yes I do. So this all comes under the mark making with the box. I'm just going to get a black pen, and I am really simply just going to frame my page. So I'm just taking a couple of really rough wiggly lines around my page just to create a frame. It just draws the eye into what you are doing or what you have done. Try not to go off the page, but again, that's fine. And then you can add like little squiggles. You could, what else could we do? What else could we do? Let's do a little bit of mark making. We can, just wondering if this pad is going to be juicy enough for this. So just with the edge of my stamping block, I can, you see, I can come in and create almost like little glints off a star. So you can just add little areas of interest. Now that's going to be a little bit hard to get into, so let's just get a little bit going on here and there. That one didn't work very well, so I'm just going to take the very edge. Come on, Lynette. There we go. Let's bring one up from here. So we've got a little bit of mark making in there. We've edged the page. We're going to add our butterfly. We're going to get a sentiment, and then I think it'll be time for some more splatters. I was wondering about whether to use a bit of stencil and a bit of Get Crackled on it, but I don't think I want to. I quite like how this is. So let's just pop that out of the way and we'll find a sentiment. So we've got lots of birthday sort of sentiments, but then I've put in this, I'm just going to pull it off as one. I put in these words so you can make up your own sentiments. So you can make whatever you want, any sort of wording at all. So let's find a piece of card. Let's go with some mixed media cardstock. And ink that up, and I'm keeping, you can split them down, you can cut between them, but I like to keep them all together. I need another drink. I never talk this much during the day. So let's just make sure that's all down, and then you guys, I'd had to do it, didn't I? I had to drop the stamp on top of it, but you know what? Let's just roll with it. Can you see those guys? Do you want to pick out a sentiment while I get a quick drink? A sentiment that's going to go onto this page. And while I'm waiting for that to come in, because Facebook has got a little bit of a delay, I think I'm going to mix up some white gesso just to get ready to add some splatters. So there's a little bit of white gesso there. Just add a bit of a spritz of water, and I will mix this in with a palette knife. Shine Bright, that's what we'll go for then. Susan, thank you very much. Just going to add a little bit more white gesso. It's a little bit too runny for now. I won't be adding that. Right, so let's get this cut down. So where we got Shine Bright. Oh, could put You Shine Bright, I Shine Bright, Make Life Shine Bright. There's so many. Do you know what? I think I'm going to go for that. Make Life Shine Bright. And even though we've got that over stamping, anyone who asks, I'm gonna say it's second generation stamping. It's meant to be there. So let's just cut these down. I don't want to use them all as one. I love cutting them up, you know, like the newspaper cutting ransom notes, if you will. That's what I like my sentiments to be like. I don't want perfect. You could put them through a guillotine and make sure that they're all beautifully cut and perfectly sized. But again, that is just not my style, so it's something I don't do. So we're going to have Make Life Shine Bright. So we'll get all these stuck down, and I'm going to use some gel medium. Sorry Tom, you completely put me off then with your comment of no mistakes, just alterations. So let's just add some gel medium here to the butterfly. Which way are you going? Do you know what? I think I'll put it straight up. I'm going to add you there. I'll add our sentiment. and I'm not even going to bother that it's a little bit wonky. Make life, in fact I'm going to make it even wonkier. Shine and bright, and then I think I just want to edge the words to make them stand out even more, so I'm just going to use a black pen, probably a finer one than I used to edge the page, so it's just a 0.1. Make sure you hold on to your sentiment, and I am just really, you know, make sure the pen that you pick up, Lynette, works. There we go. Let's go for a 0.3. So make sure they're down properly, and I really am just going to, I've done it again, just edge, and I'm not even going to do it perfectly. We're just scribbling around the outside and try not to get it in the gel medium that's squidged out. And it would probably be better if you waited for it to dry completely. That pen's given up now. Don't put your pens in wet gel medium, guys. They don't work. Right, move on to the next size, or even go for a rollerball. And then you can add little, almost like electric sparks coming off. Dare I do that? Oh, let's do it. So just add, this all comes in with your mark making again. Just add a little few squiggles, make life shine bright. And the last thing that I'm going to do is just add some white splatters. So I'm actually going to use my palette knife because I want bigger splatters, and I will wipe it off the words in a minute. But I want this going up the middle, and we just need to dab that off the words. And I think I am done. I know, I need to stop hoarding pens that don't work. They did work, it's just that I've just put them in gel medium. So I'll wait for this to completely dry, and then I will pop up a picture onto the group. I hope you've enjoyed the live this morning. I hope I've inspired you to try mixed media if you don't already do it. Or to buy the box and recreate anything that I've made. Don't forget those step-by-step booklets. They are super value. And thank you so much for accompanying me on this wet, windy and dreary Monday morning. You've certainly brightened my day, guys. Thank you very much. Bye.